The dense forest swallowed them. The thick canopy above blocked out nearly all daylight, turning the morning into an eerie green gloom. The air was heavy, hot, and humid, clinging to their skin and making every breath laborious. To Ethan, it was a green hell. Branches and vines seemed to grab at him, and the muddy ground made him slip repeatedly. He was utterly out of his element, a creature of concrete and steel now lost in a primal world. Kana, in contrast, moved like part of the forest. She glided silently through thick underbrush, her bare feet seeming to know every stone and root. She wasn't just fleeing. She was home. Behind them, the shouts of the purification faded, replaced by the forest's symphony, the drone of cicadas, the strange calls of hidden birds, the rustle in the undergrowth. The silence here wasn't peaceful. It was alive, vigilant, as if the forest itself was holding its breath, watching them. After nearly an hour of climbing, when Ethan felt his lungs might burst, Kana finally stopped. They stood before a moss-covered cliff, hidden by a thick curtain of vines. Kana pulled the vines aside, revealing a dark, narrow cave. "Inside," she ordered. The cave wasn't deep, but it was enough to conceal them. The air was cool and smelled of damp earth and stone. As his eyes adjusted to the darkness, Ethan realized this wasn't an ordinary cave. In the far corner stood small stone statues, human-shaped, worn down by time and moss. On the walls hung yellowed paper talismans, their symbols faded. This was a forgotten sacred place. A sanctuary. They sat in silence, only Ethan's ragged breathing and the drip of water from the cave ceiling breaking it. When he finally caught his breath, Ethan looked at the mark on his hand. The dark symbol seemed to mock him. He looked up at Kana. His scientific arrogance was gone, replaced by a raw question. "What turned Leo? What is it?" he asked, his voice hoarse. "What does it want?" Kana studied him for a long moment, her eyes deep as the ocean. "It's not a monster in the way you think," she began, her voice low and steady, as if reciting an ancient tale she knew by heart. "The old ones didn't call it Imanoshi, the master of the sea, out of reverence. They called it that out of fear. It's an existence older than this island. An alien consciousness, imprisoned in the stone structure you call a relic. To us, it's a cage. Imprisoned?" Ethan echoed, recalling the word prison in his father's notes. "Yes," Kana nodded. "The legends say the first gods, perhaps the star beings your father mentioned, built that cage to trap it. It's a parasite of reality, an insatiable hunger. It doesn't just feed on flesh. It feeds on consciousness, memories, souls." She met Ethan's eyes. "It's drawn to strong emotions. Pride, anger, regret. They're like cracks in the prison's walls, letting its consciousness reach out. Your father, with his obsession, created a crack. You, with your anger and shame, widened it. And Leo." Ethan whispered, his throat tightening. "Leo." Kana continued, her voice tinged with pity. His love and fear for his daughter were an overwhelming force. He didn't just create a crack. He willingly threw open the main gate and invited it in. He gave it what it craved most, a perfect host to walk in our world. Ethan felt nausea rise. He looked at his hand. "And this? This mark? It's not just a mark. It's an anchor," Kana explained. "When you touched the altar and bled, a piece of its consciousness latched onto you. You're its eyes. Through you, it senses this world. That's why you had those dreams. That's why you feel it. You and it are connected now." Kana's words aligned perfectly with Alistair's. Frantic notes. His father wasn't mad. He was the first to see the full picture and couldn't express it in scientific terms. Ethan pulled the journal from his backpack, flipping to the page with the altar and energy lines. He handed it to Kana. For the first time, Ethan saw surprise on Kana's face as she studied the drawings. "Your father. He saw the truth," she whispered. "He mapped the prison and its energy bars." They fell silent. Science and myth had converged into a single horrifying truth. "So what do we do?" Ethan finally asked. "We can't hide here forever. The villagers will find us, and that thing, it won't stop." "It won't," Kana agreed. "Its goal now is to return to the heart, the altar under the sea. The host is just a tool. When it merges the host with the prison's heart, it'll have the power to break the entire cage. Then, not just this island, but the world will be in danger." She stood, pacing the cave's cramped space. "We can't run," she said, almost to herself. "We have to stop it. We have to put it back to sleep." "How? With that sea slumber song you mentioned?" "The song is only part of it," Kana replied. "It worked when the prison was intact. Now it's weakened. We need something stronger. My grandmother said that to imprison something, you must offer something else in its place. A sacrifice, a balance." She turned to Ethan, her gaze piercing. "We can't kill it, but maybe we can repair the cage. There must be a way to reinforce the weakened energy bars." A mad plan, a fragile hope, began to form in their minds. They were no longer running. They had a goal, however impossible it seemed. Ethan looked at his marked hand, then at his father's journal, and finally at Kana. His scientific crusade had failed spectacularly. Now he had to embark on a mythical quest, believing in what he once mocked, to finish what his father started. "What do we do first?" he asked. The desperation in his voice was replaced by cold resolve. He had accepted his role in this insane story.